For the first time ever, 18 of the most iconic cartoons from across the multiverse will battle it out in a game like no other. They come from different worlds, heroes, villains, kings, spies, students, and legends, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and strategies. They'll face the harsh elements, grueling challenges, and each other in a game where brains, brawn, and pure chaos collide. Alliances will be formed, betrayals will be brutal, and only the cleverest, toughest, and most adaptable will survive. 30 days. 18 cartoons. 1 survivor. This is Cartoon Survivor Season 1.
As the Yellow Tribe steps onto their beach, there's an immediate clash of personalities. Karen floats on a makeshift screen attached to a rolling stand, quickly scanning the surroundings and formulating a strategy to establish camp efficiency. "This is primitive," she mutters, already assigning roles like a CEO managing a boardroom. Velma, notebook in hand, begins assessing shelter possibilities with logic and structure, immediately bonding with Karen over their shared intellect, though Velma is slightly unnerved by Karen's condescending tone. Tommy, wide-eyed and fearless, grabs a stick and starts exploring, determined to prove himself despite his size. Shego watches the chaos unfold with arms crossed and a smirk. She doesn't offer help, preferring to observe who proves useful and who doesn't. Meanwhile, Jerry diplomatically steps into a leadership role, calmly encouraging cooperation. He diffuses early tension between Karen and Shego, suggesting they channel their energy into building a decent shelter before nightfall. Him, ever the wild card, flits around the camp with eerie grace, speaking cryptically and unsettling his tribe mates. Though he offers to help, his theatrics put everyone on edge. Still, he plants subtle seeds of doubt in conversations, whispering to Shego that Karen thinks she's above everyone. As the sun sets, the tribe's makeshift shelter is modest but functional. Around the fire, conversations are guarded. Karen and Velma quietly form a logic-based alliance, while Shego and him exchange knowing glances. Jerry keeps tabs on everyone, hoping to build trust through diplomacy, while Tommy falls asleep mid-sentence, cuddling a coconut like it's his security blanket. Tensions are already simmering, and though they've only just arrived, the game has truly begun. The Yellow Tribe may be smart, but with egos, secrets, and supernatural forces in play, unity is going to be their biggest challenge. The Blue Tribe arrives at their beach with a mix of energy and uncertainty. Tigger is the first off the boat, bouncing excitedly and declaring, "This is gonna be Tiggerific." His enthusiasm is infectious but quickly exhausting. Francine takes charge early, eager to show her competitive edge by organizing the building of the shelter. She ropes in Shang and Lois, who both appreciate her initiative, though Shang insists on taking the lead when it comes to structure and efficiency, immediately setting off a minor power struggle. Ursula slinks around the edges of the camp, observing everyone with a calculating smile. She offers to help gather supplies, but mostly uses it as an opportunity to talk one-on-one with tribe mates, subtly probing for weaknesses. She's already clocked Shang as a threat and Lois as someone to keep close, for now. Lois surprises the tribe by taking a pragmatic, no-nonsense approach. She wrangles Tigger into helping dig a fire pit and quickly earns some respect for her practical skills. "I raised 3 kids and a man-child," she says. "This is nothing." King Boo floats quietly around camp, unnerving some of the others by simply existing. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, it's cryptic and brief. Shang keeps a wary eye on him, unsure how to assess a ghost in a survival situation. As the sun dips low, the shelter is mostly finished, thanks to Francine and Shang's leadership, though they're already butting heads. Around the fire, alliances begin forming in whispers. Lois and Ursula have a tentative bond, while Francine and Tigger share a moment of light-hearted camaraderie. King Boo remains on the fringe, and Shang seems more comfortable giving orders than socializing. The Blue Tribe is capable, but with so many strong personalities, a clash is inevitable. The Purple Tribe lands on the beach, an odd blend of sweetness, menace, and pure chaos. Mufasa strides forward with quiet authority, surveying the area and gently encouraging the group to work together. His commanding presence is reassuring to some, but immediately puts Skeletor on edge. "A Lion King? Please," Skeletor scoffs under his breath, already plotting how to undercut him. Muriel, ever the nurturing figure, starts collecting sticks and palm leaves, humming a soft tune. Her kindness draws Cosmo to her like a magnet. He follows her around, trying to help but mostly causing small accidents, accidentally setting leaves on fire with fairy magic, then cheering when Muriel calmly pats it out. Despite his clumsiness, Muriel smiles warmly at him. "That's all right, dear." Number 5 gets to work with little fuss, quickly sizing everyone up. She takes a practical lead and shelter construction and earns respect for her quiet efficiency. She starts bonding with Mufasa over their shared leadership instincts, though she remains cautious of him. "Never trust someone too perfect," she notes in confessional. Chica stands silently by a tree for most of the day, her gaze unsettling. When she finally joins the group, her help is appreciated, but her eerie silence leaves others uncomfortable. Cosmo accidentally calls her scary chicken lady, which no one corrects. Skeletor spends most of the day skulking and monologuing to himself in the jungle, only occasionally helping, and only when it serves his own interest. He tries to form a secret alliance with Chica, whispering, "We're the scary ones, they'll never see us coming." As night falls, the shelter is functional, and a fire crackles in the center. The Purple Tribe shares a strange but peaceful meal. Tension lingers in the air, though, for now, it's just the quiet before the storm. The sun blazes down on the beach as the tribes arrive at the challenge site. Jeff Probst explains the rules. 4 tribe members will swim 500 meters out to retrieve individual keys from a floating platform, then return to shore. Once all 4 keys are collected, the remaining 2 members will use them to unlock a box of puzzle pieces and solve a 3D pyramid puzzle. First 2 tribes to finish win immunity. The losing tribe will visit tribal council tonight. Yellow Tribe selects Shego, Jerry, him, and Tommy as swimmers, leaving Karen and Velma on puzzle duty. Blue Tribe sends Shang, Francine, Tigger, and Ursula into the water, with Lois and King Boo on puzzle duty. Purple Tribe chooses Mufasa, number 5, Skeletor, and Cosmo for the swim, assigning Muriel and Chica to handle the puzzle. At the starting horn, chaos erupts. Shang takes an early lead with powerful strokes, while Shego keeps pace beside him. Mufasa is a strong swimmer, surprisingly graceful, but Cosmo lags behind almost immediately, distracted by the water's sparkle and yelling, "I found sea glitter." Francine and Tigger work well together, with Francine practically dragging Tigger back after he starts bouncing on waves instead of swimming. Ursula takes a more deceptive route, slyly pulling on Skeletor's leg underwater, slowing him down. Jerry moves smoothly for his age, but the unexpected star is Tommy, who doggy paddles with a determination that stuns the crowd. Him floats ominously through the water like a sea specter, grabbing his key with little effort. Back on shore, Karen and Velma immediately begin working in sync, snapping open the lockbox and organizing pieces with machine-like efficiency. Over at Blue, Lois and King Boo are slower to start. King Boo's ghostly hands struggle with the physical puzzle pieces. Lois sighs, taking the lead and barking orders like a drill sergeant. Purple Tribe finally returns with all 4 keys, with Muriel calmly unlocking the puzzle box and Chica silently organizing the pieces. Their lack of communication is eerie but effective. Yellow Tribe begins building their pyramid rapidly, Karen calling out calculations while Velma follows through. Blue Tribe gains speed as Lois forces King Boo to honk the pieces into place, half joking. Purple Tribe, despite the unusual pairing, isn't far behind. Chica methodically stacks the pieces while Muriel gently encourages her. It's neck and neck between Yellow and Blue in the final moments. Velma places the final piece with a click. Yellow Tribe wins immunity. Karen smirks, already calculating future advantages. Moments later, Lois slams the last piece into place. Blue Tribe claims second immunity. Tigger cheers with a backflip that nearly takes out Francine. Purple Tribe watches in disappointment as Chica silently stares at their unfinished pyramid. Cosmo lets out a long, dramatic "no," while Skeletor clenches his fists. Muriel places a comforting hand on number 5's shoulder. Purple Tribe is heading to Tribal Council, where the first player of the season will be voted out. Tension begins to rise as the reality of the game sets in. Back at Yellow Tribe's camp, spirits are high after their first challenge win. Karen takes the opportunity to subtly boast about her and Velma's puzzle-solving performance, which rubs Shego the wrong way. She's acting like she won the whole thing herself, Shego mutters to Jerry, who diplomatically laughs but quietly agrees. Velma, meanwhile, bonds more with Tommy, amused by his fearless doggy paddling and innocent excitement. She starts seeing him as a loyal number. Him floats around camp, eavesdropping and whispering cryptic comments, keeping everyone unsettled. Shego and him exchange more side conversations, seemingly laying the groundwork for a potential alliance. Jerry, ever the strategist, checks in with everyone, subtly positioning himself as the tribe's unifier. Though no votes are being cast tonight, lines are beginning to form. Karen believes she's running the show, but others are already thinking about how to pull the plug on her motherboard. At Blue Tribe's camp, the mood is triumphant but slightly tense. Tigger bounces around celebrating, while Francine gloats a bit about their strong physical performance. Shang acknowledges the win but stays focused, already analyzing how the tribe can improve. His rigid attitude starts to wear on Francine, who jokes to Ursula, he's like a gym teacher with no off switch. Lois, after leading the puzzle solve, gains quiet respect, especially from Ursula, who's impressed by her no-nonsense approach. The two share a private conversation by the fire, hinting at a potential alliance. Ursula, always scheming, notes King Boo's social invisibility as a possible advantage later. Meanwhile, King Boo drifts through conversations, absorbing more than he lets on. Shang and Francine have a minor disagreement over leadership roles, which doesn't go unnoticed. Though there's no vote looming, early cracks begin to show. Tension hangs heavy over the Purple Tribe as they return from the challenge in silence. The loss stings, especially knowing they were close. Chica and Muriel sit by the fire, wordless. Chica continues her quiet, eerie demeanor, while Muriel tries to keep spirits up. We did our best, dears, she says gently. But in the game of Survivor, best isn't always enough. Almost immediately, Skeletor slinks off into the jungle with a theatrical groan, muttering about incompetence and fools. He begins scheming, approaching Cosmo first. You don't want to be the next one gone, do you? Skeletor whispers. Cosmo, distracted and more focused on poking a coconut with his wand, nods vacantly. Skeletor takes it as agreement. He sets his sights on Muriel, believing her perceived weakness and age make her an easy first boot. Meanwhile, Number 5 and Mufasa meet near the water to discuss strategy. Both are seen as strong players and natural leaders. We need someone who's not going to crack under pressure, Number 5 says bluntly. Mufasa agrees and suggests targeting Cosmo, citing his distraction during the challenge and unpredictability. He means well, Mufasa says, but this is a serious game. Back at camp, Muriel and Chica share a quiet moment. You were very good with those puzzle pieces, Muriel tells her, offering a rare moment of warmth. Chica doesn't respond, but her gaze softens slightly. Though not a traditional alliance, an unspoken bond forms between them. Skeletor returns to camp and starts campaigning more openly, floating Muriel's name to Number 5 and Mufasa. She's sweet, sure, but sentimentality won't win us challenges. Mufasa listens politely but doesn't commit. Number 5, ever strategic, begins weighing options. Meanwhile, Cosmo overhears parts of the conversation and panics. In a flurry of fairy dust and nonsensical rambling, he attempts to align with everyone at once. I'm totally on your side, he tells Skeletor. Moments later, he says the same thing to Number 5, followed by Chica, who simply blinks at him. His erratic behavior only solidifies the idea that he's a liability. By sundown, multiple names are in play. Muriel seems like an easy target for some, but her kindness has earned her quiet loyalty from others, especially Chica and possibly even Mufasa, who respects her poise. Cosmo is seen as a wild card, potentially dangerous in a game that values stability. And Skeletor, while outwardly pushing Muriel's name, is starting to appear too aggressive. Number 5 notes how quickly he's trying to control the vote. With the fire crackling low, whispers echo across the camp. Number 5 holds the most sway, subtly becoming the tribe's swing vote. As the tribe prepares for the first tribal council, it's clear, no one feels truly safe, and alliances are already forming in the shadows. The game has begun, and for one Purple Tribe member, the torch will soon be snuffed. The air was thick with tension as the Purple Tribe marched into tribal council for the first time. Shadows flickered along the worn stone walls as they entered, each member clutching their torch. Jeff Probst stood waiting at the fire, the sole beacon in the deepening night. Behind you, he instructed, his voice firm. Dip your torches in and get fire. In this game, fire represents your life. When your fire's gone, so are you. One by one, the tribe obeyed. Skeletor recoiled dramatically from the flames, hissing under his breath as he plunged his staff into the fire. Cosmo fumbled with his torch, nearly knocking his crown askew, while Muriel smiled sweetly, steady and composed despite the gravity of the moment. Once everyone had settled onto the stone benches, Jeff broke the silence. "So, Purple Tribe," he began. "First Tribal Council. Tough way to start. Number 5, what's the mood tonight?" Number 5 leaned forward, her cat casting a shadow across her serious face. "Real quiet, Jeff. Everyone's trying to stay calm, but it's clear we're already thinking about who's slowing us down." Jeff turned his gaze toward Mufasa, who sat tall and unbothered in the firelight. "Mufasa, this is a strong tribe on paper. Was tonight's loss a wake-up call?" The great lion gave a measured nod. "It was humbling," he said. His deep voice rumbled like distant thunder. "We fought hard, but strength isn't just in muscles. It's about staying focused when adversity strikes." Jeff's focus shifted. "Muriel, you're one of the oldest members out here. Are you worried about how that might factor into tonight's vote?" Muriel simply smiled, her face warm and serene. "Oh, I'm sure some might think that," she said kindly, "but there's more to surviving than running fast. Keeping calm, keeping kind, that matters too, dear." Across the fire, Chica sat eerily still, her plastic yellow beak reflecting the flames. She said nothing, only stared unblinkingly. Jeff hesitated, then asked, "Chica, you're hard to read. How do you decide who to trust?" No answer, just a tilt of her head, slow and bird-like. The fire crackled between them. Jeff let it go, the tension rising. His attention turned to Skeletor, who lounged with smug impatience. "Skeletor, you seem frustrated tonight." Skeletor threw his bony arms wide. "Frustrated?" he cried theatrically. "Jeff, we are surrounded by fools. If this tribe hopes to win, we must cut out the dead weight." His cackle echoed off the stone. Jeff raised an eyebrow. "Pretty aggressive strategy for day 2, Skeletor sneered. "Better to strike first before the dagger finds your back." Nearby, Cosmo shifted nervously on his bench. Jeff seized the moment. "Cosmo, where's your head at tonight?" Cosmo gave a twitchy smile, his voice an octave too high. Still on my shoulders, I think. I'm friends with everybody. Everybody's my best friend, I think." A few stifled chuckles rippled through the group. Skeletor, however, only narrowed his eyes. Jeff straightened. "All right. Sounds like tonight could come down to strength, stability, and who you can count on moving forward. It's time to vote." The tribe rose one at a time to vote. Once the voting completed, Jeff returned, the urn heavy with fate. "If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it," Jeff said, glancing around the fiery faces, "now would be the time to do so." Silence. Only the jungle beyond stirred. Jeff gave a short nod. "Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave Tribal Council immediately. I'll read the votes." He unfolded the first parchment. Muriel nodded, serene as ever. Jeff opened the next. Skeletor sneered. Another parchment. Skeletor, his sneer faltered. The fourth vote. Skeletor sat rigid now, the reality beginning to seep in. The fifth parchment. Cosmo let out a tiny squeak, gripping his wand like a lifeline. And the final vote, Skeletor. Jeff looked up, voice firm. "That's 4 votes Skeletor, 1 vote Muriel, 1 vote Cosmo." "Skeletor, that's enough. Please bring me your torch." For a moment, Skeletor didn't move, his face twisted in rage and disbelief. Then, with a dramatic sweep of his cape, he rose. He stalked toward Jeff, his staff clacking against the stone floor. As Jeff snuffed his torch, purple sparks hissed into the night. "The tribe has spoken," Jeff said. Skeletor cackled as he backed into the darkness, his voice fading into the trees. "You'll regret this. You'll all regret this." Ha 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 ha. The rest of the tribe sat silently, their faces lit only by the fire. Muriel gently placed a hand on Chica's cold metal shoulder, and Cosmo exhaled in relief. Jeff studied them. "Tonight you made a decision about more than strength. You voted for the kind of tribe you want to be. Grab your torches. Head back to camp." Without a word, the purple tribe rose and disappeared into the night, their torches bobbing like fireflies against the black sky. The mood is tense as the purple tribe returns to camp in the dark, torches casting flickering shadows. No one speaks at first. Skeletor's dramatic exit still lingers in the air. Muriel quietly thanks Chica with a gentle pat on the arm, their bond solidified. Cosmo, still rattled, nervously asks if he's safe now. Number 5 gives him a sideways glance, saying, "Just don't go full Cosmo tomorrow." Mufasa, ever stoic, checks in with number 5, subtly acknowledging the swing vote power she held. "You made the right call," he says, and she nods, keeping her cards close. Chica stares into the fire, unreadable but calm. The tribe settles in for a restless night, the weight of their first vote heavy in the air. Without Skeletor's overbearing presence, the camp feels slightly more peaceful, but everyone knows the game has truly begun, and the next target is already being considered.